Hello and welcome to another edition of Hero Wars How-To, your free-to-play headquarters for all things Hero Wars, all content focused on the free-to-play. Let's get this volume over here down a little bit. Still getting our studio dialed in. Finally realized we've had music we could play in the background for months that we made like 3 months ago, but I'm forgetful like that. So today, this is what I'd like to consider our very first intermediate. Where you at? Intermediate, there you go. Let's click that off so you can see better. Intermediate from 40 to level 80. Basically, there's a new event that just occurred for most of us, that if you're seeing this video in the future, it might not be it might not be your best bet to dive into this astral season uneducated. Let me get that out of there. That's there. And just so y'all see that again, sorry, I went to here. And a lot of these quests, this one here required me to spend, one of them required me to spend 10 emeralds. And it's like the third or fourth time this week that they've asked to do that. And it's been going on for almost 2 weeks now, you've seen. And every week, the first week I didn't really pay much attention to it. Then I started realizing I'm spending 10 emeralds plus doing their task to get 350 of these coins. That's 3 of those, right? So one of these should make that plus a little bit. But in a week, in 3 days, I can get these others. Spending energy, sure, I can do that if I don't want to, if I am not concerned about my team level. That's a lot of advancement that I can avoid at level 40. Remember, I almost did this at a beginner's level, but honestly, level 42, it's the very first intermediate class. Doing towers, I've already beat the tower, I think, with this team. Oh no, what the heck is this? Oh, buffs. This is, destroy 5 towers. That's another, at 40th level, it's not likely you're ever going to do that. You'll have to do 2 events, 2 of those each day, or 3 of those each day, at least. This is meant to drain those, what are those things called that lets you do those adventures? The portal charges? So the portal charges are what, basically, here's the 411 down low on the issue. This astral event is now going to begin for every new player from level 40 as soon as you advance to level 40. So it is this advisor's advice to suggest to you all not to advance if at all possible. Now at level 40, until I'm level 45, that's there, right? And I have 5 portal charges only, which isn't a big deal. But I'm willing to bet if I click the raid button, that won't count as destroying the towers. You have to do it manually. Their programmers are not incredibly smart. They could connect it to the raid, they could not. A lot of times I wonder, are they just a bunch of dummies pretending they know what's going on, or are they actually intending to be so shady? Because another guy did a stream, a video on this, and if you notice on these quests, one of them is to receive this is a younger one. If you, on the second week, this one becomes collect 50 soul stones from the chest. And him and some other people that he was friends with or knows or whatever, the pay-to-players, they spend anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 coins just to accomplish that one step. Now, I do not pay to play this game. Some of those, like the guy I was mentioning, gets paid to play the game in rewards and other things, in basically a bait or, what have you. Now, you'll notice right now I'm at level 19 with this team for whatever reason, level 42. I've done most of whatever I could every day. They say at free to play you are able to get to these points, but here's the bottom line: over 30 days, that's going to eat up ass tons of your emeralds, because if you're spending thousands of emeralds for one of these gifts to move one step further, right? Every time you get 1,000 coins, you move a step up. That's the way it works. That's the way I've seen it anyway, right? 17 to 18, 1,000 coins. This might be different, but it's probably the same ones. Still, why would you spend 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 emeralds for any one of these things? I don't get it. But maybe it's because I'm not as much of a dummy as I usually pretend I am. So, this team, let's get back to this. If you've seen any of the other videos, beginning information, you should already be aware that your main goal is to keep your team level as low as possible, because the tower, which is going to be the gold mine, the tower, the campaign, and the dungeon are the center of life for all free-to-play players. It's the place where you can do things that do not cost you energy, and they do not give you experience points. And for the most part, and I could be wrong, but math has looked at it for me anyway, and it seems to be here. I've done very little with this level 31. My suggestion for any new players at this point: your teams are going to be limited by your team level. These guys are at max. They can't get any stronger, and unlike heroes, all of their skills and stuff are not itemized. It's just their level and all that, and then and artifacts. But the artifacts don't open until level 60. That's halfway to advanced, right? The further you advance your titans, the more sparks of power you get, which enables you to give overall boosts to your each hero's top 3. These are their top 3 abilities or what have you, which are also the same as those soul stones, right? You got strength coins, strength stones, intelligence stones, and agility stones. So obviously, whichever stone functions that hero, that's the main one in the middle. The other 2 get half of that, and that happens all the way up to level 30. It's my opinion, and I'm extremely, it seems I'm very unique in this opinion, but it is my opinion that as I'm leveling up my heroes, that's glyphs and gifts. Let's give a quick mention on the glyphs. Here you'll notice these do not unlock until Violet 2. And the thing that we've covered in other videos is the awareness that different heroes get to Violet 2 at different times. It's either 65 or 68. With that awareness, it won't be until you're at level 65, which understand is only halfway. That's 50% of the way to 130, which is max. And that's if everything's maxed underneath. Now, the game style that I see most of these pay-to-play and player versus player mentality is they race to 130 on level, they fill in everything that they can, and then when they get to the top, they fill in everything else, and that's how they get to the point where they're at max. My curiosity, because I'm more interested in the puzzle that is here in front of me that has nothing to do with anybody else but myself, my ability to research information, and my ability to apply it in the game mode. This is a moving puzzle, and it's one of my favorites. I've been doing it for almost a year over a year. I started on mobile, but I think January or February I started my main set of teams. Now the reason, if you notice that normally when you go to the campaign, it will take you straight to the level that you are currently the furthest along in this story. The campaign is actually a story. The story starts with Galahad, and Galahad shows up and rescues this girl. And this girl's good for the spider lady for a little bit, but you don't want to invest in her. I wouldn't. Ginger was my first love. That was a mistake because I invested a lot into her until I realized that there were lots better heroes that will come along. I was just impatient. I'm not sure. I like this guy. He's cool to watch, but I use him because when you're trying to get experience points, these are the places where you go 3 times a day, and you could hit all of those, and you get basically 3 times the amount of. It's a good deal if you're trying to chase up the ladder of points. But back to my point, most of those people will level up their heroes and forget all about their elements, their glyphs, their artifacts. And artifacts go from 0 to 100. The other ones are 0 to 30 or 40. But these can go from 0 to 100, which means what's 4 times 3 is 12, right? So that's 120. So this should be 30 to 40, probably 40% of max. So these should be at 40 before I move forward. That is really hard because artifacts are really tough to come by. I mean, they're easy, but they take a long fucking time. The game developers that's their throttle. That's the governor that controls all of your hero's advancement right there. These things could be 4 times more, what would you call it? You could get 4 times as more of these in a normal day, and it wouldn't get your. It's not like it's going to max anything out. All it does is slow anybody down. And other than buying artifacts for money, which is probably why they put it there. You see what I'm saying? If it sucks and you can pay money for it to not suck, and you have enough money, you can afford to be stupid. Okay, dude, go for it, man. None of my skin off my teeth. Just because you can Huckleberry Finn or Tom Sawyer your way out of painting the fence. You know, you ain't fooling me, brother. I'm from Missouri. I'm just saying, it's the truth. But here you can see these dudes are struggling. And I'll tell you exactly why. I have not. Trey is, how can I put it? When I first started doing the videos for Hero Wars, Help and Hints, I did it on a normal page that I had, not aware that it wouldn't qualify for the get the frame. You know, if I'm doing the work to try to show that I contributed to the community through videos and such. Anyway, I started a new channel, Hero Wars HowTo, and we're now in our 2nd season, I suppose, our 2nd reincarnation. Whole new set of graphics, dividing all future videos up into 3 basic categories, all free to play, beginner from 0 to 40, intermediate from 40 to 80. That will probably be the longest or the most, will have the most videos, because in my experience, you can get from, here, let's let this show while I'm doing this. You can get from 0 to 40, I think, in a week and a half or 2. And that's me in quarantine sitting doing nothing but that, right? The throttle at that point is the calendar clock. But honest to goodness, when it comes to actual leveling up of your heroes, and here's why I say this. It's just because it's like the most simplest of math ever. When you have this, see how this is blank, right? That's because they're maxed. Now, when I move Astrid and Lucas or any of my other heroes up to 43 or whatever, then you get some plus signs here, right? And you get 20 every day. You have 5 heroes, correct? So this is what a level up should look like. 1, 1, 1, 1, next guy. 1, 1, 1, 1, next guy. 5 times 4 is 20. 1, 1, 1, next guy. And I said 4 because there's 4 once you get the violet. But that's how those should look. And these should look the same. Remember, level 43, 40 to 50, basically, right? Kind of. 45, 90, 130, whatever. 40, 80, 120 plus 10. Still 0 to 50, these should all and here's the reason that I bring this up. Once you apply all of these, like artifacts, glyphs, and skins and skills, whenever you assign that to the hero, you're stuck with them. The only one you can reset is these sparks of the elements, gifts of the elements. And the reason I mention that is in this astral season that I brought up earlier, some of those are do this thing, do that thing, in which case they want you to invest gift of elements 2 times, 2 levels. Now, when you have level 50, 60, 70, 80, that gets to be expensive. I don't use that when it comes to the astral season. I don't use that in most parts in benefit of my heroes. I dive all the way to the bottom, and if they say I'm supposed to fix a tank or I'm supposed to upgrade a tank, I go to my lowest tank that I care to invest in. See, that's why she has one. Click the upgrade. It only cost me 7,500 coins. Understand, they want you to do that how many times, how much money, and how many of your other resources is that costing you. When a gift costs money, it's a purchase. I just was talking and on the wrong screen. That's my bad. It's totally my bad. So what I was talking about is I pick my lowest. You see the picture now? Sorry about that. But when you have to pay for a gift, it's a purchase. Repeat after me, boys and girls. If I have to pay for a gift, it's a purchase. Now, most normal American God-fearing Christian type folks, not to sound too redneck, you'd figure that, what was I saying about Christmas? Getting gifts. Oh, yeah, that you get your gifts based upon how good you are, right? You earn your gifts by being good, because he's got a list with who's naughty and nice. You know, Santa Claus is just a big snitch, and he pays you off if you don't tell anybody that he's sneaking around. So anyway, I'm ruining somebody's Christmas, I guess. Sorry, Charlie. Chicken of the sea. Another aspect is these will stay, and it's hard to do. I realize when you are starved for resources and they dangle little trinkets of them in front of you, and people work for these. You get one of these in not even half of a level's work. It's 50 soul stones. I get that, but considering she's one of the least, nobody likes her. That's like putting the ugly girl on the varsity cheerleading squad. You don't want that girl. You know what that is to most people. Multiply that times 4,000, right? 4 times 5 is 20. So 20,000 gold coins. That's what that gift is. Why would you spend more than 20,000? More than 20 emeralds on 20,000 gold coins? Why would you invest? You see what I'm saying? If you spend 30, if you do 3 emerald things where you have to spend 10 emeralds at a time, that's spending 30 emeralds. You wouldn't spend 30 emeralds on the gold that you'd sell those coins for. I mean, it's kind of sad. I feel bad for the new players, but fortunately, I'm looking out for you because I'm aware. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm aware that there will be others coming up behind us, and maybe come around March 4th, my birthday, we'll have a real live stream interacting with real people instead of just. The best part about doing a live stream is it saves you rendering time. It's the only good part about it. The only time I see other people there, well, I won't get into that. That's for another YouTube something. We're talking intermediate hero wars awareness and leveling up your heroes and keep in mind what is halfway. That's what I'm trying to basically get across. Artifacts, 100 is the top, 50 is halfway. And I'm not telling you this because I'm great at it, yo. I'm telling you this because these are mistakes that I made, and if I can share them with you, at least I'm looking out for the future players. This was my very first Facebook game page after I was doing the mobile. Hope the music's not too loud. It's fully, I don't have to think about it, and on my side it's quiet enough. Where are we doing this? Come on, catch up. Baby tomato. Get your reward. I didn't do shit. You don't have to do those things, by the way, guys. They just happen. They tell you to like, subscribe, and all that. Basically, they force you to show up to their page with the top fan gift. If you have enough interaction points with their page that they feel that they're able to leech over into your friends' issues, none of my friends are really aware of me playing this game. Most of my other teams are alternative, what would you call it? Fake? I mean, all of it's fake, but intentionally fake. When it comes to being your own solo guild master, I did the guild thing for a while, and I'm around. Oh, it sucked. Half of the people were in other parts of the other world. They expected anybody with any level of strength. Another spam call, I imagine. Yeah, you're spam. Yeah, you're so right. Very unprofessional of me to have my phone on. Well, at least I know if somebody wants to talk to me, even if it's no one I want to talk to. That's not a surprise. I like talking to you people because, well, you're not all up in my face. You're out there in YouTube land or face crack land. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, solo guild. All of these players are me. These are my Facebook solo guild now. Secret tip, it's not a tip. I think it's designed this way. Most people should be playing this way if they're at all interested in the game. Only because you get multiple options. My first team I learned a lot from, and I adjusted. I didn't get past the Kraken, I think, on my first team till level 80. Once I got over the fact that Martha was an old lady. I didn't want an ugly old lady on my team. I didn't care how good she was. And then they got the skin that made her young, and I'm like, all right, I'll get it. And of course, if you collect your normal daily, what do they call them? Your events deals, these things, your skin sale, every day you get 50, right? So long story short, every 3 months you should, if you don't, unless you spend them otherwise, you should have 5,000 every 3 months for each color. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for reminding me that there was spam that I need to put into that category of my phone. Guild enactment, I don't do shit. I really don't. When you don't belong in another guild, you don't get pressured from nobody else. You just do your own thing. And when you do the sanctuary, you never get pissed off at the other guy for not taking his turn. So here, I'll show you this, because this is not topic specific, I suppose. This is just me ranting while I'm playing. Now with the comes to the adventures, I used to not, and I still kind of don't pay attention to these buffs. Somebody was saying not to go against Galahad with buffs because he somehow rebuffs them or something. But keep an eye on these, in that they will help your type of team because it's based on their abilities and such. A new thing, I think, anyways, I just noticed it a few weeks ago. Once you do one of these, you have a raid to do those more every day and not have to do them over and over and over again, which is good for the other side, the people who are putting up, do 2 or 3 with your guild and then raid the ones that you need later. That makes sense. But that spends ass tons of these. Those recharge up until 3. So basically every 3 days you need to burn through them. So in long story short, you get 1 every day, up to 3. But if you don't use them, it gets stuck at 3 until something happens like this recent event. They give us a gift. Now on the web version, Is this? Yes. So on the Facebook version, that's my 95 level team. When I finally figured out you could open up a web version with your Facebook account, I'll show you. This is the web version. You click this button right there. That's all you do. It's so easy. And then you click the Google one. You put that same Google address, the Gmail account that you use to make your Facebook account, you log in with that, and you get 2 on this side and 1 on the other side. So you get 3 players, 3 teams with just 1 email. I mean, you don't have to tell me I'm a genius. My actions show it. And my lack of company. I started out having ADD and ADHD, and then the doctor said that I had, what the heck was it? Asperger's. And I said, is that because I'm really smart and nobody likes me? And she goes, no, you need to start using wet naps for toilet paper. But did I mention I'm a non-professional comedian? Come on, you slow it always does is makes you go to the tower. Hey, I finished. Don't rub my homework in my nose. At one point, I was running 30 teams consecutively in a day. I was doing it full time, obviously. The main objective was to create a bunch of teams I could give away because I'm non-profit, I'm anti-profit, I'm free to play, and the smart way to be free to play is to encourage others to be free to play. I mean, sure, a pay-to-play player could come along and win one of those unless I knew that they weren't. If I knew, yeah, that's the thing I should probably do. For any future giveaways, you'll have to send me a VIP 0 or a screenshot of your team so I can verify that you're VIP 0. And if you're not sure how to do that, if you go to any of these doohickeys, you mean to do that one? I don't want to get experience points. I can, okay, you're right. I can, too late. But my point I was trying to bring up was this is a guild of 9 out of 30. And the reason I did, that number, if you look at the guild wars, again, I don't really care if I win. I mean, I try to win, but I don't really care if I lose. You feel me? Because these are just my torpy practice teams. But on your defense, understand you get a Titan and a hero team or line, whatever you can choose those lines as you are. You're usually, for those most people in the Titans, it's their top line, and for their opponents, it's their top player versus player line. I don't want to get too deep into that, but it's really player versus computer because these happen on autopilot on the defense. On the offense, of course, you can choose when you go there which of those teams you could choose, right? So this is my point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? These are the Titans. These are the heroes. So I put my 3 strongest heroes here. My 6 strongest heroes, but 2 apiece, 3. I put my 3 strongest Titans here, and then I fill in the holes with the rest of them. That's as simple as it gets. They have to get past the strongest to get the bridge. They have to get past the strongest to get that. But since I do not have a huge amount, in this other one, mind you, it's different. Because in this guild, I think I have almost 30. Plan tomorrow's defense. How many do I have? I have 15 out of 15. I think I booted. Oh, they're just not active. 16, 17, 18, 19. So I have 19 players on that team. Now, the beauty of that is whenever you get stuff that gets awarded to your guild, it gets awarded back to you. Now, here you can see all of these are full. Now, in the same aspect, I have my top teams here, my top teams here in the front. But then, or do I? I might have. Yes. So I have my top 3 Titans here, my 4th Titan here, 5th, 6th, 7th, and then I fill in with the twerps. With these, I'm pretty sure I put my strongest in the front, 70, 64, 66, 65. And those numbers, yes, I'm only looking at that number. I'm not looking at the power number. But the power number comes from the reality of how much you've invested into those heroes. When you're first starting out at level 40, up to level 40, you're stuck with whatever you get. Unless you're during an event, you're going to be working these pages for a couple, 3 days or weeks to get to level 40. Level up to level 30 was a day and a half, 2 maybe. And then within a week, I was at level 40, I think. And by level 40, I was making it right to here where it says halt. Yeah, there it is, halt. As I kept leveling up my heroes when I could, basically I'd play in auto until I would start losing. Then I'd keep playing in auto till I'd totally lose. Then I'd max out my heroes. Then I'd take my next turn. This is a place where I always had to stop and level up my heroes, because at this point the game, the enemy gets harder, the computer thing gets harder. But then you level that up, you do a pretty good job getting through these. And what's really cool about the game is the items in these levels are designed for the heroes of that level. So when you get like way up to here, oops, overskipped it. Yeah, let's do that. Way up to here. Let's go to the end. The chapter ends at chapter 15, Abode of the Masters. It's my opinion that these soul stones, where you can get them, those are the puzzle game makers, the game makers who make the puzzle, giving you the puzzle pieces to enable you to connect the dots and utilize those teams. The game is all about this event right here. This right here is the culmination of the entire game. It's the runaway princess. This is when the hero Galahad rescues the princess Astrid and her companion Lucas, and then after that they have to escape into eternal darkness. And at that point, I sure wish that they made the artifacts and such easier to get to, so by the time you got to level 130 in like less than a year or 2, at that point is when you could join the guild wars and player versus player. I think that would change almost everybody's, but they probably figured that out, that if they did that, people wouldn't pay to win. They'll pay to fight with each other, but they won't pay to beat the challenge. And the funniest part is, gosh, the other day, this is when I knew what I was doing. This is when I was like, that's what's up. You're spot on this one, dog. Somebody posted a thing. I beat Kraken at level 66 consistently. Started at level 69, and then I did another team. Where's the Kraken? There's the Kraken. I started at level. The first time I was going through here, I was again on a guild, building my team the way the guild mates, the pay to play players were telling me. Do this, do that, level this, level that. Don't worry about those things. They're not important. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to disagree right there. Okay. Long story short, I was able to beat this at level 69 and then level 66. Then my level 65, I think that team got 2 stars. It's only a few upgrades to level 63 like the other team, or 66 like the other team. Remember, you can't unlock all your glyphs until level 65 to level 68 because of the evolution of the color rankings and how they unlock your glyphs. Everybody's glyph unlocks at Violet plus 2, but everybody levels up on different items. And I'm still trying to figure out the connection between the types of heroes and the items that they utilize. I found myself playing games where it's like 3 of my 5 heroes all got the same gifts, which meant farming for items 3 times longer and 3 times more inclined to raise my level. Now notice, I have not moved her up. I don't care if she gets any further. I'm investing 0 more into Ginger. Again, like I said, when I built this team, I was totally all over, oh, Ginger's so great and Kira just sucks. Not because everyone loved Kira, and it's not like I've totally ignored her, but yeah, I kind of did. I stopped paying attention to her at level 20. That was my second team. Do I want to give that to her and I can't get a deal because those aren't there. And she takes the same items that Astrid and Lucas takes, and Astrid and Lucas are my star players because that's what this game is about. She's the center of the game. Anybody that's not playing her is not playing the same game as the creators of the story. Galahad is your very first hero. Anybody, and you're right. At first, he's a wuss. You have to invest not real money, but the skin helps for sure. I think he's got 3 skins now. Once you get to this level, I dump all of my juice into one player. I don't need to get more skins for the most part because he's the only hero in my line that utilizes strength. I designed it that way. Then I have 2 that are dodge. This one and this one. Or agility. And I have 2 that are intelligence. This one, which has no skins because he kind of doesn't need it. He acts really fast. He blows shit up. And he spreads it out amongst the team. I haven't figured out how he does it. If it's 1 per team or if he gets 5 or 6 rockets and if there's 3, then they each get 2, or could 1 get 4? I don't know if it's all random. That I haven't figured out. But I'm still learning. She's not even close. Remember, this team is 60-something, right? 70. This is my... Yeah, I hadn't learned yet by then. This one went up to 70. Still, I'll be able to get to 68. Get everybody up to their things. See, she's been advanced. He's the +2. She's a 2. He's at 2. She's a... Oh, I need to work on her. Next, and her. She's a +2. The problem is, I learned, like I mentioned, at level 80, that without Martha, you're really struggling in your game. Let's go ahead and farm for her. Here's another little tip. If you're farming for something on an early level, 1 hero can do it. And since I don't particularly care about those heroes, or maybe I'm just seeing a new one that are up to level, they're totally empty, they're top heavy, 60th level, not 1 increase in skills, strength, abilities, except what I mentioned earlier, random gifts of elements or other things that Astral Season would encourage me to invest in. Now notice the game, even with her, it's a bit slow. You see my point though, she can complete this. I can put that on autopilot and go to the bathroom, make a coffee. You see what I mean? I like autopilot. I don't mind it because I don't have any, what would you call it, stuff invested. The point is, if you do it with 1 hero, I'll just let it play. If you do it with 1 hero, that hero gets all the experience points from that battle. Now what I'm seeing and what you're seeing is that this hero is not really very offensive. Now I'm going to show you a difference. Just because I'm aware, I've done this so many times. Not particularly with her, but let's just grab somebody else that's not her. These guys are at 70. My team level's at 70. My point is, I give it to players that I want to get leveled up. Well, let's see how fast Bob does it. And if it matters, I'm at this point universally Oliver because he heals. It's not too slow. When I first started learning this, Galahad was the best because of that raining swords or whatever it is that he does. But by this time when he has his charge, he kills them all, uses the kills to get his energy, goes to the next one, kills them all, goes to the next one, kills them all. King Mao's like that too. Astrid and Lucas, I remember at level, I can't remember what level they were, 60 or 70 maybe. But I was able to take her and Lucas, just that team, first level all the way through to chapter 8, and I beat everything except the boss in chapter 8 with one hero. And this is because I do more than empty level my heroes. I've heard that a few times. Where are we at? Yeah, we can do this. Now these, I don't really pay attention to them. I just want them to get to max. I do my best to not. Every day you can do that. It's 20 a day. Fine enough. Allow your resource. Best closing advice is I get kind of bored of listening to myself talk about this stuff. That's my original. Go back to Trey. Let's go here. Let's log out. Again, this is Hero Wars HowTo. Clem Hawkins, free-to-play headquarters. I was going to talk about this, but it usually makes my speaker sounds crackly. Oh, look, I'm missing the cover photo. Hear the crackly? It's because of some Discord interference. But you go here every day. You don't have to be a top fan. You don't have to earn your keep by clicking on their stuff and promoting them. It's way better than being. And what happens when Facebook dies? Everything dies. So I'm not saying Facebook will die anytime soon. But this one was 3 portal charges. I'm not sure if I've done that. So why don't I? Oh, log in with Facebook. Log in with Facebook. Facebook, Trey, yeah, and log in. This team is level 39, and this will be my starring team and lineup for my beginning videos. This morning, today, I went through and created 3 categories. Beginner, 0 to 40, intermediate, 41 to 81, and advanced, or 80, advanced, 81 to, here's Trey, 39, he's 11 points. It is so close. I cannot take 1 experience point, but I'm going to use this to show you. And let's just document this because I'll probably post this. Might as well, right? Mighty swell. So here at level 39, none of the glyphs are open because of advancement, but that's mostly because of these. Remember, I can't go get those. I can't do that because if I do, that's 10 experience points. At 11, I'm over the top. So the only way to get these is from the tower or to purchase them from the shop. So every day I buy what I can buy, and you can argue, but just don't. Do what I tell you. Buy everything. In the future, you're going to look back and go, didn't I see a bunch of those? Because these are all things usually take 5, 10, and 20 of these pieces just to make one of the things. And that's to make one of the items. It's nice to have these, but I've learned not to trust when they say who they're for, because the game was designed to get you to level up all your heroes together. So if you have a group of 5 that's up in blue, violet, orange, whatever, it will every time tell you that these you need for these other heroes, but these are also building blocks for the heroes you've advanced, their little pieces. So don't believe the hype. Don't give that shit away. I buy Orion all the time because he rocks. I'm learning to buy Cornelius. I used to buy Faceless. They're both pretty good, and understanding the reason of the game is they want you to get all your friends to play too. So the more friendship coins, therefore what's in the friendship shop is usually pretty choice. These become required. I'm at Path of Madness and I have to now build up a Cornelius because the only thing that he does damage depending on the percentage of the intelligence. And there's a wizard that keeps healing everybody, and he was a pain in the backside in Runaway Princess. I beat her originally at level 40 or 93, and then I beat her at level 94, and then when I beat her the 3rd time for the 3rd star at 94, it also gave me the experience points, turned me to 95. and I hadn't done any videos on it yet. I was still trying to do it, but that's okay. We accomplished it. Next goal is to get my level 65 teams up to level 80, or actually 68, and max out. That's my next goal. Go to 65, get all of my heroes, and instead of doing like everybody else, then I understand some of these are limited based on your level and such. Probably artifacts are as well. I'm not really sure. My point is these go to 100. These go to 30. These go to 40, I think. Skins go to 60, I think. None, this team doesn't have any of those. But the longer you play at a lower level, the stronger underneath. You could build your team underneath, but understand when you invest those items, they stick with the heroes. You can't swap them. That's the hardest part. The only thing you can swap out is the gifts of the elements, and you lose the gold that you spend, but you get the sparks back. That's really helpful when you're level 95 and you just figure out that you can turn them back in to advance your main 5 team, or your top line, is what I think of it as. When I look at the game, I think of my team as kind of a hockey line. Excuse me. On my... I can't use this one as an example. God bless it. That's the beauty about having multiple accounts. Now, you won't see where I go, but you can see that I click that Google thing. And just like the Facebook, I just click an account and it grabs it and opens it. It's so easy. Also, you'll notice, I'll point this out. See how the different colors are here? The way I keep it track is, since Facebook is blue, if I'm playing Trey's team, then on the web version, I want to be playing Trey's web team. But if I do, or Trey's Facebook team. But I can actually log out of Trey's Facebook team, log in with the Gmail account, then I'm on Trey's web team. It's tricky. It's sort of weird. I hope it doesn't confuse you, but I also hope that I'm pointing out some cool stuff that other people haven't considered. I guess I don't need to go large with this one. What was I pointing out with this one? Okay, level 64. Only because I like the George Clinton P-Funk All-Stars outfit on this team, because I told you I had a bunch. I wanted to invest in a bunch of them. I actually invested into Cornelius. So this is the team that will probably become the focus of getting to level 65, 68. Now, another important point, a lot of those artifacts, and I'm still trying to figure this out too. A lot of those artifacts, those little fragment pieces, right? When it comes to their items, or not artifacts, items, these things, like I'm not sure if I see those there, but I see stuff like this in the tower all the time, fragments for those. And I'm not sure if they're spread out or if they actually come based upon the computer being able to see your team or whatever. This is also the first team that I invested in Celeste in. The first time I was playing mobile, the guys basically said, without Celeste, the team isn't worth playing. And if you pay $1.20, you get Celeste, so you should do that. So I'm sure he was really popular for Nexters or the Hero Wars Mobile. But she doesn't level up till 68. She's a healer. He's a max, and his was at 65, right? So they're at 64 at team level. I've got extra juices, and if I haven't said it enough, every time, every day, these become available. Buy them, because in the future, as you level up, sometimes it might take 3 days or 10 days worth of gathering these things just to get enough experience points. For example, if you're at level 80 and you realize you really need Martha, so you play for a month to spend the 50 soul stones to get the 50 box, right? If you show up every day for 30 days, you get, on the 28th day, you get a soul stone box. That's every month. Always every month. You get to pick that, and it's 50. Unless it's an 83-star hero, you can get for 50, I think, a 2-star hero, including Martha. And then as you can see Martha, this is a great example. This Martha is still blue. She's not even blue 1 or blue 2. She's just blue. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4 levels to advance in these things. And this is something that I noticed. See that she needs a Skull Crusher. She's also intelligence. He needs the Skull Crusher. He's also intelligence. They don't need the Skull Crusher. She don't need the Skull Crusher. But King Mao and her items are often similar to her items. Martha and Orion, he also needs a Skull Crusher. So maybe these items have to do with their base or their main hero stat. So maybe there's 3 groups of main hero stats. These items are for each one. I know their books are different depending on mage or support or whatever. Again, you can see I haven't done much investing into him, but I've been saving up resources and deciding who and where to invest up into. But she has gotten investment, so she's my intelligence. She gets all of the points until the healer is at max. And the important aspect that it might take normal people a few months to figure out is, and I know I told you I don't do that, but I just did it. When I'm under a certain point of emeralds, I don't mind going broke. It's like life, you know. Once you're broke, you're broke. But I'd rather invest in these and get them all built up. I'll do it up to 40 and I won't have the gold. Oh, that's cool. I did get her to max. Almost. I told you I wouldn't have the gold. In a short pinch, where are we at? We're at 52. I'm going to close this out because you're probably bored of me. I'm bored of me. I'm advancing her because she's a healer, but I don't know why I didn't realize she was a healer. I thought I got her for her support. Something that because she gives her healing. She damages the opponents and gives that damage and healing percentage to the heroes that are near her, and she sits right next to Galahad. So the idea is that if he's the lowest in percentage, that she'll always dump all her healing into them. Martha, she really accelerates the team. Orion, he acts fast anyway. King Mao, she's just awesome. I like to see that thing go flying through the air. Physical damage person, physical damage person, physical damage person, magical damage person. I think he does physical or pure damage. What does he do? Skills, physical damage. Celeste. That's healing. That's magic damage. That's healing. That's healing and magic damage. Martha. Healing. Okay, healing. But it involves damage. All of hers are healing. But when you look at Thea, I think one of hers does damage. Yeah, here, her Bow of Silence does magic damage. Now notice she gets, where's she at? Violet drops below 30%, 10%. Increases ally speed ability by 184%. I rest my case. Martha is way better than Thea because she makes your team work faster for 6 seconds. Must have. She's a must have. All teams must have. Astrid and Lucas, if you're playing the team, must have. Once you get to where the fishy waters are and that triceratopsy thing starts getting in your way, dude, that thing sucks. Where is it? No, it's back. It's back. Oh, here, it's at Kraken level. Chapter 10. These things. Where are they at? Oh, I can't do it. This one. Let's go. Let's go for it. And then we'll sign off. Not him. I've almost decided if a player is all about fighting other opponents, they always use Astaroth, and if a player is about playing the game, they'll probably use Galahad or what's her name? The girl that she's super duper. She's worse than Galahad as weakness, but supposedly when you invest in her as far as skins and stuff, she becomes pretty darn strong. Still, I think at the beginning of the game it starts with Galahad. The end of the game should end with Galahad. But I'm old-fashioned like that. In other news, the United States government passed, the House at least passed a bill for legalization of cannabis. They puff passed it, as all the talk show hosts were saying, which is pretty cool. I mentioned this before, always at the end of your rounds, take it off auto. I call it semi-auto. Excuse me. But that allows you all your energy to build up. Also, believe it or not, there's a lot of these, your ultimate things aren't, this is the Triceratops guy I was telling you about. He sucks, but when you got Lucas, he jumps out there and keeps him back. And then King Mao pushes him back, and also Galahad pushes him back. That keeps all of these guys away and destroys their space. So when he blows stuff up, bam. I'm sure that same like trio, that same line, that front line, would be the same. I mentioned before, I like to think of it, the pet is the goalie, the tank and the healer are the defenders, because they're always in the game, the best ones. And the three attackers, the front line, 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, make those so they can interchange depending on, are you fighting a team that you want to use physical damage against? Physical is the red, pure damage is white, purple is magic. But I could probably show you what this looks like when you do not have Astrid and when you have Astaroth. It is really sad. And long and the short of it is that team can beat it. I'm not saying that that team can't beat it, but that team cannot beat it easily, consistently, and at the same lower level. Oops, Galahad died. Let's retreat. I don't know what I did, but I'm not taking those experience points for a failure. If it ain't 3 stars, I don't want it. So, yeah, back to it. Beginning, this is my very first intermediate. I think I started with a level 42 hero tray, which is here. Let's go look at your thing. In future videos, intermediate videos, we'll be seeing a lot of Trey. I'm not going to do that right now. Oh, great. We got the perfect background music. I want to give this gift up here. Just a reminder, Free-to-Play Friday. Oh, do I? I don't have a Free-to-Play Friday graphic in this mug, do I? Nope. I just did all my graphics over to this morning. So we do beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. Hero Wars HowTo, your free-to-play headquarters. Check out our YouTube. Please like and subscribe. The more you like and the more you subscribe, doesn't make my ego better. I don't really care about that. What it does do is it puts these videos that you find full of quality content higher up on the search list. So when new players type in a tag that says Hero Wars, how to beat this, how to level my heroes, how to beginner level 40, how to intermediate, how to advanced, those can be found a lot easier, and our free-to-play community will rise to the occasion. So thanks for tuning in. Oops, where am I? What was I trying to do? I was trying to go to one of this one. For ADHD TV, our sponsor, original host, Wim Hawkins, signing off. Be safe out in the Dominion, y'all. Peace.